Hey guys, Shallon Spanky coming at you with my little baby girl Stella over here. Stella, why don't you come and get in a YouTube video? She's feeling a little skittish right now, but this is my little baby. You probably hear her meowing in the background because she craves affection. But Princess makes the rules when she's in here, not me. Anyways, guys, One Piece chapter 1053. How about that chapter? Not gonna be doing a review for it this week though. 1052 caught me by surprise, and I felt like an obligation to review it. But frankly, I don't have the time and willingness to be able to just crank out YouTube videos, so I gotta be a little selective. And quite frankly, I'd rather talk about one little thing in 1053, and that would be Admiral Green Bull. Let's go. One of those big things, also known as Aramaki. We finally found out his real name, which I think he has my favorite name out of all the admirals. You know, you got Sakazuki, Kuzan, Borsalino's pretty good. Isho's kind of cool too. But Aramaki, and just the way his vibe is with I don't know, it's cool. But anyways, guys, so I'm gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this. Who is Admiral Green Bull? What's his deal? What's he doing? We're going to theorize a little bit, talk about his abilities. Super excited because this is one of those big things that every One Piece fan has been waiting for. You know, you got to think it's kind of crazy. We're just entering the final saga next chapter, actually. I can't wait to see what the name of it is. I think it's going to be either the Laugh Tale Saga or the One Piece Saga. These damn cars. Those are my predictions for that anyways. But there's so many mysteries going on. I mean, we still have to find out about, we got to see some more Roger backstory. I hope we get more about Kaido, at least a little bit. We got to see Rocksteady Zebek. We got to get, stuff with the Kainu and fights and all that. There's so much left in One Piece. These last these last couple hundred of chapters are going to be crazy. But this is, pretty high up there among those list of things with all those. I mean, Green Bull. I'm probably going to make that a video, actually. I might do, top 15, top 20. Probably not top 10, because there's a lot more than 10. But I'll probably be doing a video on top 20 One Piece moments that we need to see before the story ends. Or, things that I'm excited to see. Or I'll probably rank it based off, if Oda didn't include them, because we're probably not going to get them all. But, if Oda didn't include them, how upset would I be if they didn't include them? There's a lot, though, so I think Green Bull might crack the top 10 on that. Yeah, he'd definitely crack the top 10, I think. But anyways, enough with that. We're going to be talking about the boy, Aramaki, Ryokugyu, Green Bull. So, it's weird, because every admiral, they have their own sense of justice, per se. You got Akainu and his, I forgot what the name of it, Absolute Justice, there we go. Absolute Justice. Kuzan's is, I forgot what that one is. Borsalino's is Unclear Justice. Kuzan's, it doesn't have I don't remember the name, but it's pretty much he follows his own moral code. He's a good guy overall. He's not a bad dude. You got a Kainu who's literally the whole world is black and white. You're either an evil pirate and you gotta die, or you're a good marine and you gotta fight the good fight against pirates. You got freaking Kizaru or Borsalino, who's literally unclear. What the hell does unclear justice mean? This dude's just too stoned to do his job half the time, so that's his little fucking excuse. Unclear justice. I forgot what Isho's is called, Admiral Fujitora, but he's much more Kuzan-esque. You can tell him and Kuzan are cut from the same cloth. And I'm also going to be switching between the admirals' real names and their admiral names throughout this video. Just whatever comes to mind first. Sometimes I call Aokiji, sometimes I call Kuzan. It's whatever. We'll deal with it as we go. Whoopsie daisies. So anyways, finally saw Ryokugyu. If I'm saying that right, I'm just gonna call him Aramaki because I love the name. Finally found out, well, not what his devil fruit is, but we got a pretty good grasp on it now. We'll talk about devil fruit first. No, never mind. Sorry, we're skipping around. We're going to talk about personality first. We got to see what this guy's all about. And this was something I was interested in because, you get Isho, who is pretty much he's more of an extremist Aokiji, Aokiji follows his, moral justice, I believe is what his is called. I think so. But Aokiji follows his justice, but he would also never put the Marines at risk. When push comes to shove, he's gonna follow orders, and he's gonna, whatever. If he's ordered to do something, he'll do it. Fujitora, on the other hand, you have him who's literally bowing before the citizens of Dressrosa, and Akainu who's like, "What the f are you doing? You're about to, oh my, you're gone, you're gone." Green Bull, I see. So I wanted to see what was going on here because I was trying to think of possible personality types that admirals don't have, and I was struggling. I was like, okay, the super good guy. We already got Kuzan and Fujitora. You've got just kind of like the chill, does whatever he wants, wild card. You got Kizaru, and then you got the super intense, gruff, freaking military man, which is Akainu. Well, we find out in this chapter that Aramaki is literally cut from the exact same cloth as Akainu. I was going to say Aokiji for a second there. This dude's literally an Akainu dick rider. I mean, he straight up is sitting there going, he goes, I forgot the exact quote, but he says, I like the way he operates. No half measures. I think I'll earn a attaboy if I capture this Straw Hat kid. He's just trying to get an attaboy, and he's going to try to screw up the MC because of that. I mean, whatever. He's a Marine. He's got to do what he's got to do. And it's whatever. It's just profession. But still, I mean, I don't know. And so this kind of plays into a little... It's interesting because kind of the dynamics have changed now. I'm curious as to how Fujitora fits into this. Because, in this whole little 4 Admiral dynamic, Kizaru's just chilling. Like, Kizaru's like... He's like... Oh, what is that, Akainu? You want me to, Or no, sorry, that's it. Oh, what is that, Akainu? You want me to go kill Straw Hat Boy? And he's like, yep, go ahead and do it. He's like, be right back. Just fades away into light speed off to kill Straw Hat. But, how does Fujitora fit into this? So now, how did Fujitora even become an admiral? Because if it's Borsellino, who's literally just chilling back, doing whatever, but definitely listening to Akainu. It's Akainu who's literally, he's out here freaking just destroying everybody, killing civilians on a freaking boat. And then you got Aramaki, who's sitting there, who's just like, oh, please notice me, Akainu. Please notice me. And it's like, come on. So Fujitora, because I was wondering, how does, we see that Fujitora is honestly like, at risk of losing his admiral position. I mean, it's a little wild here. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, so, because I was curious, how does he not have more pull? I mean, he became a freaking admiral, so what's the deal here? And now we have Aramaki. And I think this also changes things up a little bit for final fight type deals, because I got a little theorizing to do right now. So Fujitora, right? He's supposed to, or... assuming that all the Straw Hats fight an admiral, he's supposed to be Zoro's opponent because Zoro's a swordsman and he's a swordsman. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that never felt very natural to me. I don't see Fujitora fighting any Straw Hat. I could see him having a confrontation with Luffy, but I don't even think a fight. It would be more like an exchange of words, because the way he thinks of Luffy, more of a, Luffy, show me your path is the right one, maybe a little bit of a fight. Eventually Fujitora lets him pass, whatever. But, maybe that's where Zoro steps in. Maybe Zoro jumps in as like, Captain, you go ahead, I'm taking out this jackass. But it's still, even his character, I'm like, why would he fight the Straw Hats? I've always expected Fujitora to jump ship at some point. I'm straight up, this guy's just straight up rebellious. Well, I think now that we have Aramaki, and we see Aramaki's also a swordsman, that makes a much more natural opponent for Fujitora. And it also I didn't predict the sides right, but in my 1052 review, I was like, okay, we might have a couple of different factions within the Marines. If Fujitora's not already joined up with Sword, I can see him being joining up with Sword later, and then because we have Aramaki, who's just the Akainu dick rider, Sword, who's literally like the just Marines, so you got like Drake, and Fujitora's not a part of it, but you got Sengoku. I'll tell you what, this is another thing I was thinking. Sword, okay, they're active definitely, for a long time. Kobe's a part of it too, by the way. Sword, they're active for a long time. They're the ones who got X-Drake to become a pirate, however long ago, years ago. So I'm thinking, they're like, okay, we see there is a Navy draft. This is our chance. Like, we put a plant in there, someone that we don't know, like, because it's very, ambiguous how this world government draft went to find the 2 new admirals. So they, hey, there's this guy on this island we know. Let's propose him. Akainu's like, oh yeah, Fujitora checks out. He checks out, and then Fujitora is low key as a Shield spy or a Shield member, and so I think that could be a thing, and that'd be a very good opponent because I don't think we've gotten any interactions between Isho and Aramaki, but between those two, I don't imagine it's good. I mean, Isho and Akainu aren't good. Who knows? Maybe Kuzan comes back. Maybe Kuzan's also a part of Shield or Sword. He went and joined the Blackbeard Pirates. We don't know, but it doesn't make any sense. And he quite literally told Smoker, "I'm still with the good guys." So whatever the hell that means. First off, I think the sword reveal is going to be crazy. I think we're going to find out that a whole bunch of characters that we've known throughout people that we didn't even suspect have been working for Sword. I could see, maybe not at the beginning of the story, but throughout the time skip, maybe Smoker became affiliated with Sword. I could see Vegapunk secretly being affiliated with Sword. I could see freaking them having connections to the freaking Revolutionary Army. There's Sword, I feel like, is so widespread and we don't even know. I mean, we know Kobe's a part of it. We know Drake's a part of it. And, Drake, if Drake's a part of it, anyone can be a part of it. So, whatever. I digress. We're talking about freaking Aramaki today's video. So anyways, that's kind of Aramaki's character. I'm interested to see where that goes. I think there's definitely going to be some splitting of the Marines here, and Aramaki's going to be on Akainu's side. It's also weird because there's also the whole world government side, and Akainu's not really vibing with that either, so that's why I'm almost thinking, the Straw Hats might not even fight the Admirals. It might be like a Sabo and the Revolutionary Army, and then Sword, and then Sword fighting against the Marines, while the Revolutionary Army wants to fight the Celestials though. So I don't know. We'll see what Oda does. Oda's a master at his craft. He'll lead us in the right direction. On to Green Bull's powers. Like I said earlier, we know he's a swordsman. That's dope. Like pretty much everyone's been guessing forever, he has a plant devil fruit. Is it a Zoan? Is it a Paramecia? Is it a Logia? Let's break it down. So, Paramecia. This is the one I think it is the least likely to be a Paramecia. Which before I actually would have said most likely, because a plant Zoan, plant isn't a naturally occurring element. Maybe you could say the wood fruit, but I don't know. We'll see. But we saw in this chapter though that he actually turned his fingers into vines. Well, first off, let's break down his. Okay, we're gonna break down his power. Dude, this guy cut king and queen and all the prisoners at Udon. So we flash to him, and we'll tie it into the whole devil fruit thing. So we see, first off, there's a whole ass forest surrounding Udon. So, it's like, this guy's like Hashirama. Hashirama, Senju from Naruto, got deep forest emergence, and he can create a little mini forest. This forest was bigger than anything I think Hashirama's created. And I was thinking, man, this could be really freaking bad. It's really bad. He sprouted this whole forest. We zoom to him. We see his fingers. He's turned them into vines. We see that he's actually absorbing the life or the nutrients out of living things around him. First up, pretty brutal for One Piece. We see it, and all the beast pirates, they're just impaled on these vines sticking out of the ground, and through their chest, through their stomach, and there's these shriveled up mummies, right? So we see oh crap, this guy's not screwing around. Then we cut to King and Queen, and they're demolished. Queen is looking like he just went on Weight Watchers. Not just went on. This man's looking like he's been on Weight Watchers his whole freaking life. And then King is looking a little bit better than Queen, I will say. Queen's got a little bit of that loose skin because he's so big, so he probably doesn't look as good. But King's looking a little bit better than Queen, so I'll give him that. I feel like this was Oda's little way of settling the debate once and for all. First Commanders versus Admirals. because ever since that whole little exchange with Kizaru and Marco back at the very beginning of Marineford, everyone's been like, okay, and then Ben Beckman put the gun up to Kizaru's head, and everyone's kind of been like, okay, so an admiral equals out to about a first commander. So that's kind of always, there's been, sure, I'm sure some admirals are stronger than some commanders are stronger than some admirals, but they're comparable. They pause. All right, guys, so they're comparable. We're gonna do it like this now. They're comparable. Anyways, I think this was Oda's way of putting this to rest. I didn't think about this when I very first read the chapter, but Queen and King did just get their asses whooped. I'm gonna guess King has a better recovery factor than most people since he has such god tier durability. So I think he's definitely recovered more. Queen, he's got, I bet you Queen's recovered a little bit too, because he's got the cybernetic body. So I'm sure they're both over 50% recovered. I know it's been only a week, but it's got to be over 50%. I would assume so. Yeah, Oda shut it down real fast. I still think that. I mean, if King was full power, Aramaki's beating him. I don't think that's a thing. So how strong is Aramaki compared to the rest of the admirals? I mean, when I was thinking about really breaking down, okay, if he really does have a plant type devil fruit, and considering how ludicrously powerful with their devil fruits all the other admirals are, you got Kizaru's freezing tidal waves, Akainu's literally creating volcanoes, Kizaru is flying at the speed of light, Isho's calling down meteors. I mean, come on. This might be, besides Akainu, because I think Akainu is the strongest, lava fruit. It makes sense. He's the fleet admiral. Aramaki might be the second strongest admiral. He could be stronger than Kizaru. I definitely say he's stronger than Isho. I think that Fujitora is the weakest admiral. Fujitora / Isho, whatever. I think he's the weakest admiral. It's Paramecia type, and again, while it doesn't matter that much, all type, Whitebeard had a Paramecia type, and that's the strongest devil fruit, so whatever. Law has a Paramecia type. That's another super strong one. When you're just fighting against all these Logias, and really all you have is the gravity fruit, whatever. But I think that kind of plays into it. The good guys got to be the underdogs. So Fujitora switching to the good guys, that would make sense. Aramaki being his opponent, that would make sense. Who knows? Maybe you get Kizaru versus freaking what's it called? Or Akainu at some point. We all know Akainu's a little bit strong. Well, we already got Kizaru versus Akainu, so probably not that again. Sabo and Luffy versus Akainu. Whatever. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. What else with the Green Bull? Oh, yeah. So now that we've seen how strong he is, talking about that devil fruit, Paramecia, I don't think he'd be able to actually turn his fingers into the vines, but I also don't know if he was actually turning his fingers into the vines or if he was just shooting the vines out of the ends of his fingers. But it looked like it was his fingers. I'm going to assume they were his fingers. So since he can actually turn his body itself into it, we got to assume it's either a Zoan or a Logia. I could definitely see Zoan 100%. If it's a mythical Zoan, some sort of ancient flower, if it's just any flower. The only thing with that is we've seen him use it in such a multitude of ways. It would have to be mythical, I think, right? But then, so we saw him, that forest, it was all trees, all right? So mythical Zoan world tree. Let's say this is, the giant tree fruit. If that's even, it's not a thing, but let's say it is. The mythical Zoan human model giant tree fruit, right? So he sprouts that forest, okay? So then what's the deal with the vines? He had the vines. Is the mythical vine fruit? Well, then we saw the forest. We also saw him flying with a dandelion last chapter, so is it the mythical dandy fruit? Probably not. Leads me to believe he does indeed have a Logia. Is it the plant fruit? Maybe. Is it the... Hold up. I just thunk of something. What if he had the Hito no Mi mythical variant model Mother Nature? What if that was a thing? Mythical Mother Nature fruit. That's not my pick, but that could be a thing. If Otis said that, and then we kind of jumped into what mythicals were from there, I'd be fine with that. Because we still haven't seen a Zoan Admiral either. But going on, probably going to be a Logia, plant fruit, wood fruit, vine, whatever you want to say. Freaking, I don't know any other plant names, whatever. Fern fruit, we give you the fern fruit. So that was, Logia, pretty sure, whatever. That doesn't require it. I think, I'm like 90% sure we got a Logia. This is something I just thought about a little bit ago. Sabo. Sabo fought Green Bull at Reverie. He's dead. I mean, he can't actually be dead because, it's Sabo. He's a main character, and they're not going to off-screen him. Like, if they off-screen Sabo, that'd be the biggest L Oda's ever taken. Like, literally, Mara fruit users cannot have it any worse. After Ace got fisted through his chest and freaking... I'm going to show it up on the screen again. That's right. Every time I talk about Ace dying, I'm going to put it up on the screen because I don't like Ace, and screw him. Then we got Sabo getting off-screen by Green Bull. I mean, come on. But, yeah, so he fought Sabo in his group. Now, Sabo does have the Mara no Mi, which I'm assuming is the counter to Aramaki's fruit. There's still no way Sabo beat him. I mean, come on. And, oh, well, you know what? Okay. So we could say Sabo ran, whatever. But then they said they killed Sabo. Well, why would they say they killed Sabo? We don't know what they said. We saw everyone's reaction to the news line. If Sabo was captured, I don't think they'd react as harsh as they did. There's no way that article had to have said Sabo's dead, or maybe Sabo was turned into a pacifista. That'd be crazy. Sabo was a pacifista. But it's got to be something bad. He didn't just get captured. And I see no way that Sabo's beating Aramaki in a fight. I don't care if he's got his counter devil fruit or not. I mean, this guy is a beast. This guy's a killer. I mean, King is known as King the Wildfire. And his fire prowess is probably pretty close to as good as Ace's was. I mean, come on. He'd whoop Ace's booty cheeks in a fight. Let's be real here. So I just don't know. I mean, yeah, Sabo's not looking good. Let's see, anything else Green Bull? Oh, let's talk about his design. Super cool design. Because again, we've only seen his silhouettes. People actually have been saying, he's got the silhouette fruit. Looks a lot cooler than I anticipated. I kind of thought he was gonna be like goofy and like more aloof. He kind of looked almost like not fat, but like bigger built. Almost like he's not a human. And he is a member of the long leg tribe, by the way. I'm pretty sure. We haven't gotten confirmation, but that boy's got some long legs. He's looking like Smoothie and like a lot of these other guys. But we also know all the admirals are tall, so I'm not sure if he's just big or if he's actually a member of the long leg tribe. Looking back at it, I don't think he's a member of the long leg tribe. I don't think he's a long leg human. But, scratch that from the record. But whatever. Super cool design. I like his hair. I want to see a color scheme of him. I'm guessing his hair is green because that's kind of how we've seen him depicted, but we don't know if that's actually his hair color or if that's just because they're trying to find some way to signify Green Bull. But super cool design. He's got the tattoo on his chest. He wears no shirt, which is, I don't know, man. I liked, Isho does this as well. He doesn't do this, I should say, but I really liked how the OG 3 admirals, and then we also saw Garp and Sengoku in flashbacks against Shiki. I like how they all wear very nice suits. I think it's super cool how, it's like, yeah, I'm literally one of the 3 pillars upon which justice rests, but I gotta look good for a day in the office, Aokiji's sitting there buttoning up his vest. You got Kizaru putting on his tie, zip. Akainu's got his, button up Hawaiian shirt. He's like the dad, big old cigar in his mouth. And then you got Fujitora, who's like an old samurai. And yeah, it's a cool aesthetic, but come on, can we get some more uniformity here, boys? And then Garp and Sengoku, both wear those nice black suits. Like that, we got that scene where they're facing off against Shiki, and they both throw off their admiral jackets, or Garp's vice admiral jacket, but they both throw off their jackets, and they're sitting there like, ready to, or, tightening up their ties, getting ready to fight one of the 4 warlords. Like, I mean, come on, that's so clean. He doesn't wear a shirt though. He's whatever. He's got his jacket on, got some normal pants. Very tall, but it's also kind of hard to tell how tall one. That's why I say I want to say he's a long leg tribe member because of the way he looks, but it's really hard to tell how tall someone is or someone's size until you actually see them up against other people, because as we saw with Kaido, people thought Kaido was bigger than Big Mom at some point, as did I. I mean, I thought Kaido was huge, and then we find out Kaido's actually moderately normal size compared to a lot of characters. I'm pretty sure he's about Admiral size, height-wise at least. I think he's a little taller than an Admiral. Actually, I think he's definitely taller than an Admiral, but he, whatever. Very cool design overall. The reveal of Green Bull, better than I expected it. I mean, I didn't expect it to be bad, but the randomness and just out of the blue with which this came, and his whole, we saw him whoop King and Queen was the first thing we saw him do. Now he's going after Straw Hat, okay, how's that going to go? And let's talk about that. He's going after Straw Hat Luffy. Okay, Luffy's with Kid, Luffy's with Law. I'm assuming Law and Kid, I think Law and Kid's injuries are more of like stamina injuries and not so much they do have physical injuries, of course, but Law's, heart pirates, they're great surgeons and doctors, so I'm sure that they're fine for the most part, but there's no way Law is pulling out his awakening left and right again. Honestly, he might not even be able to do it at all, might have to cool down for just a little bit longer. Same with Kid. Kid might be able to use a sign once or twice, as like a last ditch thing, but I think he might be shot on energy too. Luffy is definitely shot on energy. He's got to be. I mean, Luffy's probably a little bit above half health, I'd say. I'd be surprised. If we combine his physical health with his actual, energy levels, I think total he's probably 50, maybe a little bit above 50. Zoro, it's probably below 50. Zoro's fight was, the difficulty with which that fight was won for Zoro. Like, is this worse than nothing happens? Like, I'd like to say that nothing happens, Zoro was closer to death, because that would just make sense. But at the same time, Zoro didn't see the Grim Reaper when nothing happened. I mean, come on now. So, I don't know, but either way, Zoro's definitely below half health, because we saw how nothing happened affected Zoro off into the next arc, and I'm sure we're going to have a little, I don't want to say a cool down, who knows, whatever. I thought it was going to be a cool, nice little chill post-Wano arc, but we got freaking Green Bull popping up, so who knows what's going to happen. I was just going to assume we'd get a nice little lax arc, but that might not be the case, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm like, who's going to win? Because last chapter I said if Green Bull walked in there, I'd like to think all the pirates could beat him. I also would have liked to think that King and Queen could have beat him. So, we also still have all the, Jinbei's pretty high. The other Straw Hats really aren't that messed up. Like, Jinbei kind of decisively beat Who's Who. Frankie didn't get that effed up, and he just rebuilt the Frankie Shogun, so that's kind of his equivalent of being full health. I'm sure Usopp still has plenty of pop greens. Nami didn't really take that much damage. Now again, these are all Nami and Usopp against an Admiral, but support roles. Brooke hardly took any damage, I don't think. Robin, a lot of her stuff was durability damage. Oh gosh, guys, I think I might know. This is turning out to be a really long video, but whatever, screw it. I'll make it. Anyway, so regardless, so I'm just going to continue on with the tangent I'm on right now. We have Sanji, who, I was rereading that fight between him and Queen a couple days ago. That was such a decisive victory. Like, straight, if Sanji wasn't sitting there having a midlife crisis, and if Sanji had gone into that fight with his new and improved robot body, and without that whole midlife crisis, he would have screwed Queen. That was decisive. Queen straight up chopped his... I never really thought about that, but Queen got a free shot in on Sanji's neck with a sword and hit it, and the sword shattered. Anyone else would have been dead. Zoro would have been dead. Now, that's not saying Sanji's stronger than Zoro, but Sanji's durability is on a whole nother level, honestly. Insane. So, assuming, this is what I was thinking of mid-talking. So when we look at the people who are all hurt and probably wouldn't be able to help, Eustace Kid and Law, I think, would provide assistance. Okay, sure, fine, whatever. Killer, probably not going to. I don't know if Killer could. He might be able to provide a little bit. Zoro not doing anything. Luffy is probably going to try. I don't know if he could. Robin, completely exhausted, I would imagine still. Or like, well, I guess we saw Robin this chapter, but, who knows? Whatever. And Robin's about to find out about Pluton, so what if, Aramaki comes, he realizes, he's like, oh, Law, Kid, Luffy, all the samurai, probably not realistic to get, Luffy's fighting back, kind of maybe, but maybe it's like, Sanji, Brook, Chopper, Nami, Usopp, maybe they're the ones that are kind of leading the battle against Aramaki, and he's like just cucking him. Maybe Sanji gets a, maybe Sanji forces Aramaki to block once, but it's a cuck, right? It's a cucking. But they can't get to Luffy. But what if they get Robin again? What if they get Robin again? And that's kind of, and, Zoro wasn't able to participate because of his thing. Luffy wasn't able to help. It's kind of on Sanji's shoulders, and that's the whole thing because, him and Robin. But I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes, guys. I don't have the answers. We got to wait a month. It's a month break. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, man, there's so much to talk about. So many One Piece videos to make, guys. So expect my JJK review to be out on Sunday. I'd like to say Sunday morning, but with the way I've been plagued with upload issues, I hate to make promises like that. My last One Piece chapter, I recorded it on Friday, but I don't think I uploaded it until either Monday or Tuesday. Because it took, so I uploaded it once, wasn't up to my standards with I didn't crop it right. So I re-uploaded it, and then it uploaded for 18 hours, canceled, had to restart the upload, and then it was going so slow. This time I canceled it 6 hours in. I was like, I'm done. And then re-uploaded it again. This time I was like, whatever, I'm just going to leave it. And so 3 hours, 8 hours into that download, it was at I don't know, 30-something%, right? So then I was like, okay, well, I'll start downloading my JJK 187 review. That one, which was 10 minutes shorter, downloaded in less than an hour and uploaded. So whatever, we'll see what's going to happen with this One Piece video, guys. We'll see what happens with the JJK video. I'm going to record that very shortly after this. I think the scans came out, so I'm going to be reading those. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about Green Bull in the comments, if anyone does comment. New YouTube channel tings, but this is Shaolin Spanky signing out.